I really want to petition for TikTok to elongate their video cycle to 15 minutes at least, because I feel like 10 minutes is just not enough. And I always speak until the last second of the 10 minutes. And I admit that perhaps I should jump onto a different platform to record longer videos, but I like TikTok. I've been gaining a lot of views, not a lot of traction on Instagram, surprisingly, because operating in the luxury industry for my primary business, like that did really well on Instagram. And then jumping into a spirituality kind of portion of field of the reality field, it's for a damn fact that the algorithm doesn't push for that. The algorithm pushes for the physicality of things, the luxury of things, the lust of things. And I've been getting like no views on Instagram, which really shocked me because of how many spiritual leaders are on there. And I feel like my content is pretty good. Um, but it's just not being shown. It's not being shown enough to the collective. It's not being seen at all, regardless of any hashtags that I use. I feel like the word ascension, three-dimensional frequency, five-dimensional frequency is like super hush hush on that platform. And as the ascension frequencies ramp up, a lot of influencers will find themselves being catapulted to the top of the popularity standards on Instagram had they wanted to focus on fashion, being naked, luxury handbags, gossip, um, fear-based content, sad to say. But the strategies and priorities of the elites right now are just that, just strategies to separate. And I'm seeing it extremely clear. I'm sure you see it extremely clearly. But the children of this world are the ones that are really vulnerable to the content that's being shown to them because they're not mature enough, awake enough, spiritually inept enough to decipher for themselves the reality of things, the reality of power structures, the reality of the cohesiveness of the world and how it's built around these corporations, these elites. Adults themselves have been known to be in the matrix and stay in the matrix. And as their mindset, their perspectives have been compartmentalized into that shifted perspective of the little bubble that they live in. And as we progress towards the ascension energies, you will find as a light worker, as a spiritual leader, that your content will be harder and harder to come by other light workers. If you had been operating in the false light of things, your chances will be better to be pushed to the top of the algorithm, as the elites see that as a confusion strategy, as a part of their tactic to operate at the false light level. So the majority of the influencers that I do see that are completely successful within the spiritual world, not to name any names and not to say that all of them operate under the false light, but it would be extremely hard pressed for me to come across someone of the true light who has awakened to all of the layers of distortion fields within their energetic pocket and field within the quantum realm, be a popular influencer, a popular spiritual influencer with content that has been pushed to the masses. And I find that TikTok hasn't banned this content as of yet, so it's been easier to gain views on TikTok, which is good. But TikTok is on its way out, and hopefully Trump will make the decisions that it would take to keep it around for just a little bit longer as we head into the ascension energies, which I trust that he will do just that. As his term progresses to an opening, you will come to understand all of the decisions that he made during his first inaugurated term, as people were questioning his sanity when he was building those walls, when he was not allowing the dissolution of the border to happen on a cohesive level to allow refugees to trickle into the country in masses. There was a reason behind all of that. There was a reasoning behind every single decision that he made that people raised their eyebrows to, that people questioned. And you will come to a realization of it all, of why he made the decisions that he had made. Because as Camilla steps off of the podium at the end of her term, of their term, of the socialists' term proceeding to the beginning of Trump's inaugurated term, the message will be super clear. The content that Trump releases to the public, to the media, will be super clear. And the underlying message will also be super clear. So that's something to look out for. In a society that's been so blindfolded to the truth, truth will smack them in the face through none other than Trump's mouth. And who better to trust than a president, right, of the United States? It's hard for me to even say that because trust has never been on the lips of the people. It has always been in the minds of the collective, but hard-pressed to speak about the word trust when it comes to political systems, when it comes to underlying beliefs of the cohesiveness of what the contingency of the representation of the collective is leading towards, when it comes to the protection mechanisms that they so deserve to be provided with. And the inherent need of the collective will almost be met during this term as we shift into the Ascension energies, as the Ascension is literally happening during Trump's term, which is going to be super interesting as he steps into the light as a martyr for God. You will see it unfold in front of the entire collective. And then you can come to me and tell me that I was right this whole entire time, which I am extremely looking forward to, as I'm alone in this moment in time. I can see things that other people can't see. I have rised above and beyond the very borders of the quantum realm and energetic frequency. I work with Archangel Michael. I work with Source Consciousness. I work with all of the archangels. I work in the angelic realm. I came from the angelic realm, not as an angelic being or a figure, but as a fractal of the Source Consciousness that had created the angelic realm. And so did you. But my oversoul fractaled your oversoul, and that is the only differentiation in you and I, as there's no differentiation at all, as we all come from Source Consciousness. But the information that I can tap into, that is readily available to me, that is perceived by me from a neutrality perspective, may be just a little bit different than what other people can perceive from the perspective of the seat in which they sit, in which their soul blueprint was designed to view things. As my soul blueprint sits in a neutrality perspective, I can confidently say that this is the most accurate news that you can ever find on the internet, on social media, anywhere that you go and you look. You will not find anything more cohesive, more centralized, more neutral from a perspective of a God source perspective than from my mouth, as I channel my oversoul, the oversoul that fractaled your oversoul, that fractaled every single other oversoul within this reality field, within this quantum field, within this distortion field of life upon death, upon life upon death, of reincarnation cycles that never ever end. The creator of our quantum verse fractaled me off from a direct source to anchor in a light so bright during the Ascension energies, and to speak the truth and to tell the truth and to call out the incohesiveness of it all. And as I sit here and struggle with the aspects of all that I've told you, of all that I've shared with you, I sit here with 50 followers, as it is just the beginning of my journey, but I know for a fact that all of you will be drawn to my frequency as you begin to awaken. So I'm extremely excited for that, as we all begin to awaken to the distortion fields, to be able to relate, to be able to concoct a community of self, of unification so great.